Ableton tutorial. Lovely to have you here. Big shout out Patreon gang. Big shout out YouTube gang. Right, what are we looking at today? Well, the title of this video, Instant IDM Vibe Generator. To be honest, I don't really like the term IDM, but it's a nice shorthand, so we know immediately what we're talking about. These kind of ambient, generative, glitchy intersection between organic acoustic sounds and electronic sounds that I explore a lot on this channel and hopefully inspire you to explore in your own musicking. So yeah, Instant IDM Vibe Generator. What I'm going to do today is a bit less programming and detailed mapping stuff and a bit more conceptual, I guess. I'm going to make 4 tracks in 20 minutes. I'm going to show you how I think about putting together a patch and sounds that interact with each other and sounds that work well together. And I'm going to explore a couple of compositional techniques in there as well. So if you want to jump straight to that, the link is in the description below. But first of all, I'm going to do a quick overview of this rack, which is what I'm going to use to generate my 4 tracks in 20 minutes today. This is a rack that I've made called Rampling. You can buy it on my Patreon for €5, or the full members on the €8 tier get this for free along with all the other benefits, sound packs and racks and everything else. So if you want to grab that, link is in the description below. All support on the Patreon is really appreciated. It helps me keep doing what I'm doing and exploring these things. So I'm going to give a quick overview of how this rack works, and then I'm going to make 4 tracks in 20 minutes using this rack. So I'm just going to press stop on this and I'm just going to return all of these to the default settings. Return you to the default. Return you to the default, turn that down. Going to return you to the default. Once I've done this, I'm then going to just talk through exactly what's happening with this rack, and let's return this to default as well. Okay, so it's a 4-voice sampler. We have 3 sections. This is the sort of master sound bank control section, which allows you to select each sound, and then the volumes for the individual voices or sounds here. We then have a sample playback sound section where we can adjust parameters of each of the individual samples that are being played back. And we have an effects section over here with a bunch of effects, a bunch of different effects racks. These sends here are pre-effects sends, which means that you can have the sound turned all the way down, but it is still being sent to the effects racks if you have the effects sends up. So let's take a look at what's happening with each individual sound. I'm just going to program in a MIDI clip here, and we can see that we have sound 1, sound 2, sound 3, and sound 4. I'm just going to program in sound 1 like that and press play. So each individual sound I can select from a number. I can select from 51 sound banks, and then there's 9 user sound banks. There's a PDF here that has all of the sound banks in. As you can see, there's everything from kicks to pots to whisks on heater to some pizzicato bass to some kalimbas to some broken bird sounds. So there's a whole bunch of different sounds on each of these. So I can just move this to select the individual sound bank. So let's come back to this kick. Now I click on sound 1 and move across here to the sample playback section. So here we have a sample select. So each individual sound on every sound bank has 8 different samples. So I can pick which of these samples I want to play back. So kick 1 has 8 different kick samples, etc., etc. I can randomize the sample playback. I can pitch it up or pitch it down. I can fade it in. I can adjust the length of it. It's not going to do so much with the kick. And I can adjust the fade out. So if we have the length super short and a fade out like that. We can randomize the panning of each sample playback. Here we have a filter cutoff. And here we have a velocity to filter cutoff. And this little rack here is a randomization rack to randomize the timing. You can hear that's gone a bit wonky, and to randomize the velocity. So if I now bring in some velocity to VCF, we can hear that we're sort of randomizing the filter frequency here. If I turn that all the way back up, we have a velocity to VCA, so we're obviously just adjusting the volume of each. We can randomize the pitch, and we can send it to a bunch of effects. Now we've got a bunch of effects over here, so let's send it to the glitch. Now we're not hearing anything yet because the glitch output is all the way down, but let's turn that up. already fun. Then we have a bunch of things we could adjust on the glitch track here. We have some sidechain. So that's really now sidechaining it against the incoming signal. Let's turn that down a bit. Yeah, we have some other stuff here, and we can send it to other effects, so we can sort of get cross-modulation feedback effects happening within the effect track as well. So let's turn that send down. We have a delay send. Let's turn the delay output up here. Let's adjust this sync rate. Turn the feedback down a bit. And we can send this to the glitch. So it's now not the kick drum that's being sent, but the delay that the kick drum is triggering being sent to the glitch. Let's turn that down. Let's turn this delay send out. We have a reverb. Let's turn the reverb up on the effects rack. And this is sort of a fairly standard reverb, but we have a sidechain on it. And we can also send it to the other effects, to the glitch, to the distortion, to the delay. And we of course have standard stuff here with decay times and all the rest of it. Let's turn that down, and we have a distortion send. Let's turn that up here. And on the distortion rack, again, we have a sidechain. We have some feedback, distortion types, filters. So the distortion can get super out of control as well. Let's bring the feedback down. Sidechain up. And let's turn that to send down. Yeah, so what I can now do is hit random on here. So simply by hitting random here, I've generated a really interesting sound to begin with. Let's return that to the default values. And let's take a look at what happens if we bring in some other sounds. So let's make this a 2-bar loop. And I'm at 150 BPM today if you're wanting to follow along exactly. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this up a bit, and we're going to make it do something like this. This is going to sound crazy, sorry. Hey! Let's actually just press stop on that clip. I'm going to do something like this. Let's trigger this sound here, and here, and here. And let's do this sound. This can do something like this. Okay, now let's just press play again. Wow. Okay, now I'm just going to press random on each of these individual sound banks. Cool, right? Instant vibe generator. So that's about this rack. We have the individual volumes for the sounds. That's a bit nicer, yeah. And depending on, and this is just using this first sound bank. I could randomize the sound bank now. Some super different effects. Super fun. So what I'm going to do today is I'm now going to load up 4 brand new projects, load in an instance of this, and sort of talk you through how I explore each individual patch. So, grab your hats and jump in. Okay, so I've got a blank Ableton project here. I'm using the audio channels to record my voice and the output from Ableton. It's how I make these tutorials, so we don't need to worry about that. And we've got 2 empty MIDI channels. Just going to delete one. We only need one of these channels. And if you've downloaded this pack from Patreon, it comes with instructions on how to install it, of course. So you simply drag and drop it into the user library here. So I go into my user library, and there it is, the Thayer Rampling device. I'm just going to drag that onto a new MIDI channel. And the first time you load it, you may get a sort of orange bar down here saying that you need to point Ableton to where you've saved the samples as well. Obviously, I've loaded it before, so it doesn't do that. Right. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you how I begin to explore something. I'm going to create a random situation and begin exploring it. So when I think about ambient music and generative music, I don't think about composition so much as this exact note needs to be played in this exact time, but I think of it more as curating the elements that are interesting to interact with each other, curating a set of possibilities that can happen, but within that set of possibilities, you sort of leave it up to chance and see what happens. And for me, the really interesting thing is when those chances sort of begin to collide, and that's where I find the interest in this kind of music. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up a series of chance situations and begin exploring them. So I've loaded in the rampling rack now. This itself is a rack of infinite possibilities. So let's see what we can do. So I'm going to use the Media Effects SQ sequencer for this. I explored this on my last video. I'm going to drag that in at the start here. Now the 4 sound banks are being triggered by the notes C1, C#1, D1, and D#1. So I need to make sure that the range of this output is triggering those notes. So I'm going to bring in a pitch device in here. And I'm going to constrain the range using this. So I'm going to say the lowest is going to be C1. And I'm going to say the range is going to be +3. +3 from there. So at any point, the only notes between C1, C1, C#1, D1, and D#1 are being triggered. And I'm going to change the mode, not from block, but to fold. And we just hear it triggering this kick drum. So if I press random here, though, we can hear it cycling through the samples that it's triggering. So let's listen to each of those samples. We have this kick drum. Okay, let's sound design this a little bit. Let's make it randomize the sample. Let's adjust the fade out a little bit. Let's introduce some random velocity and that's nice. Let's send that to the glitch effects. Actually, I'm going to send that to the delay. I'm going to keep the delay out off, but I'm going to send that to the glitch. And now I'm going to turn the glitch out here. Fun. Okay. Let's see what sound 2 is doing. Let's turn on sound 2. Okay, let's make this do something. Let's do some random pitch stuff on this. I want this to be really short and always kind of high. Let's randomize the sample on that as well. This one, constant volume, I think. And let's turn it down a little bit here. Okay, sound 3, what have you got for us? Let's solid that. Oh, we still got the glitch effects going. Let's just turn you down for now. Okay. Sound 3, what are we going to do? Let's randomize the pitch on that. Let's randomize the panning. And let's just bring that right down. It's just kind of adding a little bit of interesting thing. Let's send that to a reverb. Let's give it some depth there. Yeah. Okay, sound 4, what have you got for us? Sound 4 is not being triggered at all by this. Let's see if we can change that. So let's adjust. There we go. Sound 4. Okay, let's just hit random. Ooh. That's menacing. Let's fade in a bit less. This is really nice, actually. Send that to the reverb. Okay, what have we got? This kick, I reckon this could go to the reverb as well. No, the snare. Let's send the snare to the reverb as well. So sound 2, send to the reverb. This is fun. This kick is a bit too normal. Let's send it to the distortion. Distortion out a bit. I'm not so sure about this sound 4 now. What happens if we pitch this up? Send the distortion send down on there and the reverb up. Let's bring the glitch back in and the reverb out here. This is fun. super weird glitchy texture. I forgot to set the timer for that, but I think that's about 5 minutes. That was fun. Let's start again. Okay, so I've got another blank Ableton set here with another instance of the rampling rack loaded, everything set to default values. This time I'm going to just program in a beat. Let's do something that, let's make it 2 bars long. And yeah, I'm at 150 BPM. So what I'm going to do is something like this. Let's go all the way through. Actually, let's not do that yet. That is what I want. And then all of the rest of these, I'm going to change the chance. So I'm going to bring the chance down on all of those. So what that means is that sort of on the first and the third beat, we've got a 100% chance of something being triggered, and the rest of the time, only a 1 in 3 chance. So let's duplicate that all the way through. Let's add this, something like this. Let's add this sound here. And sound 3, what are we going to do? Let's do something like this. But again, let's turn the chance down on all of those. Down, yeah, so something like that. Okay. Now I'm just going to press random on everything. Random. Sound 1. Random. Sound 2. Random. Sound 3. Random. Sound 4. Random. I'm going to come over here to the effects racks and randomize the outputs here. These are really loud, so let's just turn them down a little bit. And let's see what we got. Weird. Going to hit random again here. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can figure out what's doing what. I'm going to return this just to dry for the moment. What's that low sound? What's sound 4 doing? Just some occasional high beeps. Let's bring the pitch down on that. And send that to the reverb a bit more. Sound 3, what are you doing? Oh, nice. Oh. Nice. Yeah, these ones, these are going to go down too low. So let's turn the pitch up about here. Sound 2, what are you doing? Ooh. Menacing. Let's turn the fade up out. And this is being sent to the reverb. Sound 1. Super quiet. Let's turn the filter up a bit. Super quiet. This is fun. Note length should be shorter. No, this is quite nice being long. Let's randomize the velocity. Okay. Nice. Oh, that was fun. Sound 4, I reckon these are the tones. This can come up a bit more. Nice. This is really nice. Wonder what happens if we add a kind of a beat on the top. Let's add a beat on the top. Let's just go to drums. Let's just use a stock Ableton kit. Yeah, let's use this Beta Fish kit. Drag it in here. Just going to program in something that sort of reinforces the groove a bit. So yeah, what have we got? We've got a kick. Do we have another kick? There we go. And let's snare. No, it's just. Ooh. Yeah, let's just do that. And here. All right. Yeah, this is kind of nice actually. Do we have something like a... Yeah. Nice. What else have we got here? Yeah. Yeah, let's now sidechain what's going on in the ramp pool against that. So let's go to the end of this. Let's add a audio effects compressor. Let's add the external. We want input from the beta fish kit. I think I just want the snare, so I'm going to fill. I just want the kick, so I'm going to use a. Yeah. And I'm going to add an effects rack to this. I'm going to add my live glitch effects, which is also the same rack that's on the that's in the Rample rack. So we go to user library. We go to effects. Here we go. Live glitch stretch. I'll put a link in the description below for a free download of this live glitch rack for everyone. There we go. Maybe a little bit too much on the glitch. Let's bring the volume down a bit. Didn't need to open that. The volume's here. Yeah. There we go. Dialed in another idea. Again, I forgot to set the timer. Let's try again. Let's see if I remember to set the timer this time. Okay, so I've got another new Ableton project with just the Rampling rack loaded. This time I want to be a bit more intentional. I want to create kind of like a techno-y thing. I'm at 126 BPM now. And I'm going to use the rotating rhythm generator for that. So I'm just going to drag that in before. And straight away we just get a lot of things being triggered. I'm going to turn them all off to begin with. I'm going to make sure the notes out so are sending to the correct pads. So this needs to be C#1, this needs to be D1, and this needs to be D#1. Yeah, D#1. So now I'm going to turn just Division 1 back on. I'm going to make this Euclidean thing. We're going to have steps 10 and fills 3 to begin with. Now that's just triggering sound 1, and I want to be intentional about the sound. I said I wanted to do a kind of techno-y thing. This one's going to be sort of a really hard kick drums. I'm going to go to the patch list and I'm going to look at the patches, look at the sample banks and distorted kicks. Let's go for distorted kicks. So that's sound bank 1, sound number 50. So I come back here, sound select, sound bank 1, sound number 50. Lots of distorted kicks. Now I'm going to set up on sound number 2 some kind of hats sequence. So again, I'm going to come back to the patch list here, and I'm going to see where do we have some hats on this sound bank number 2. We've got some dub hats here, or sound bank 3, closed hats, or live hats. Let's try sound bank 3, sound 10, or sound 11. So I'm going to turn on sound bank 3. I'm going to change this to sound 10. Lovely. Let's turn the Euclidean on again. And I'm going to set up a logic thing here so that the kick is never triggering when the hats are not triggering. So I'm just going to turn up logic. So it has to be both kick and, in this case, number 2. Number 2 is not triggering, so we don't get anything. But I'm going to change it to number 3. So now in order for the kick to trigger, both the kick and the hat have to be triggering at the same time. This is a bit too straight. Let's change this to 7 and 4. Nice. Okay, let's do some work on the hat sound. It was sound 10 and sound 11. Yeah, okay, let's do something interesting with this. First of all, let's change note length really short. Oh, that's sound 2. Sound 3, sorry. Yeah. Let's pitch it up. And a bit random pitch. Sound 1, let's randomize the sample. Let's do something with the velocity. Let's bring in 50% random velocity and a bit on the velocity. Yeah, nice. Okay, so sound number 2. let's bring in sound number 2. Let's make that happen kind of like a snare drum. Sound number 2, let's go to sound number 2. I changed it a little bit, but let's check the note like that. Yeah, randomize the sample. Nice. And sound number 4, let's go to the patch list and see what's available on sound number 4 that might be fun with this. Well, actually, these all look fun. Let's try the FM sequence. So sound number 16 here. And let's turn sound number 4 on. Turn the Euclidean sequencer on. Let's make it. And I'm going to make this a logic, and I'm going to make this not hit when the snare is hitting. So it has to be or and number 2. No, not when the kick is hitting. Yeah, okay, let's do some stuff with sound number 4. Let's randomize the sample. In fact, I'm going to try and make it do kind of, because this is the way it's cycling through the samples is quite nice. I'm actually going to bring in a MIDI effects here. Let's use MIDI effects expression control. I'm going to drag that in just before sound 4 on here. I'm going to set this to incremental. 8 steps is nice. Unipolar 100%. I'm going to map that to the sample here. This is nice. The kick sound is too loud. Let's bring it down a bit. This sound can come up. Okay, let's do some effects. So this sound number 4, this is going to sound great getting sent to the glitch via the delay. So I'll turn up the delay send, and I'll come over to delay here and send that to the glitch. That's a glitch here. Yeah, this is really nice. What's happening on the glitch here? This is nice. Sound number 2. Let's randomize the panning. Nice. Let's send a kick drum to the reverb maybe. Add a little bit of reverb here. Sound number 2, that can also be sent to the reverb. Bit more sidechain on the reverb. Bit more decay. And I forgot to set the bloody timer again. I think that's about 5 minutes. Some quite intentional, weird techno stuff happening there. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, another blank Ableton set. Right, this time I'm going to try and make something kind of drum corey, but a little bit jazzy. So I'm back at 150 BPM for this. This time I'm going to program in, I'm going to use a drum break, one of the drum break samples. So I'm going to set sound 1 to do that and just slightly reduce the chance of all of them, 80%. Right, I'm going to come back to the sample sheet and I'm going to choose a drum break. Break 1, break 2 and break 3 are on 12, 13 and 14 on sample bank 1. So sample bank 1, 12 is break. Yes, brilliant. Okay, I'm going to randomize the sample and I'm going to randomize the pitch already and let's see where that gets us. Already pretty nice. What do the other breaks sound like? It's got a little bit something to it. Oh, I think this one was nice. Bring down the random sample a bit. Note length. Nice. Okay, now I'm going to pick something jazzy. So I'm going to come to here and sound 4. Let's find something jazzy. What have we got? Jazz chords in F, E flat Rhodes. Okay, so 37 or 38 for sound 4. Let's go 38 and let's come and program in this. Let's make this 2 bars long. So I'm going to duplicate it. And let's do something like this. Okay, now sound 4, that's already quite nice. Let's make it a longer note. There's not so much of the sample there. What happens with the other sample? Let's try this. Sample number 8. Yeah, nice. Yes. All right, let's send a bit of that piano to the reverb. Nice. Okay. Sound 3. Let's make something super glitchy. So let's try this. Sample number 6. Let's program something in. Let's change the chance on those. Back to here, sound number 3. Randomize the pitch and the sample. Send that to the glitch. Yes. Okay, sample number 2. Oh, double bass. Either number 12 or number 13. And let's make it do something like... something like that. All right. Sound number 2 is randomize the sample. Bit shorter. A little bit of that to the reverb, maybe. Didn't even do any mixing on this. Sound number 4. Let's maybe make that nice and wide. So I'm going to bring in something in here after the sound 4. I'm going to just use the align delay in there. There we go. Sound 1, maybe a little bit to the distortion. Turn the distortion up here. Some gentle distortion. Let's dial that back. That distortion could go to the reverb as well. There we go. Some breakcore jazz. How about that? Let's do one more. I want to do something a bit more ambient-y to explore another side of this rack. Okay, one more. Let's do one more. And I want to make this one kind of cinematic and ambienty. I'm still at 150 BPM, no need to change that. So again, I'm going to start off by creating some kind of a texture and be quite intentional about sounds. So I'm going to go back to the patch list and I'm going to look here, and down here in soundback number 2, we've got some cinematic hits, sound number 47. So I'm going to, sound number 2, going to be sound number 47. I'm going to make a MIDI clip and I'm going to trigger sound number, let's turn you off for now. Just going to trigger sound number 2. And it can be nice and long. And I'm going to set that to be really low chance, like kind of 1 out of every, yeah, something like that. Now let's press play. We're not going to, probably not going to hear anything straight away. We're going to come to sound number 2, just going to randomize some things, randomize the sample. Oh, there we go. Let's give it some note length and some fade out. That would be nice. Happening a bit too often. Let's make this 2 bars long. Let's come back here, randomize some more stuff. So sound number 2, let's do something with the velocity. Yeah, and then also with the filter cutoff. No, it's not happening at all. There we go. Nice. Send that to the reverb. Turn up the reverb. Let's give it a lot of send to the reverb. Cool. Okay. Oh, right. So now let's look for another sound that might complement that. So perhaps some cello, some C minor cello. Let's try that. Soundback number 4, sound 46. So I come back here, soundback number 4, sound 46. And let's make that happen sort of like this. And these are going to be, again, super low in chance. Going to come back here to soundback number 4, more fade in. More length and some fade out. Turn up the sample. I reckon this can be in the same key, so let's put this up to here. Send it to the reverb. Filter all the way up on that. Let's randomize how loud they are and randomize the panning. Now our big Brahm isn't hitting at all. Let's turn you up a bit. Okay, so this can go down. Yeah. Sound, this doesn't need to go. I don't like that whooshy sound. Let's turn that down a bit so it's not quite so jumping all over the place on the sample. There we go. Sound 4, lovely. Okay, now let's look at some of these other sounds. Sound number 1, something industrial. No, let's use something. Let's use one of these bowed sounds. Bowed hat, sound number 48. And I'm going to make this happen super irregularly as well. I put that on the wrong one. Let's go here. So sound number 1. Yeah, let's send that to the reverb. Longer with a fade out. Random pan. Randomize the sample. Now, sound number 3 we're not using. What can we do? It needs something just a little bit all the way through, a little bit weird, and so maybe let's try some of this stuff. What have we got up top here? Percussion, sort of mechanical noise could be nice. Plucky, no. Something foley-ish, rim glitch. Wind tubes. Let's try the wind tubes. No, let's try let's try sticky. Number 33. So come back here, sound select. Number 33. And let's program that in to do it sort of, yeah, let's do it like that. Nice. Okay, sound number 3. Let's randomize the sample and randomize the pitch. Let's make it nice and long and sort of low when it happens. Yes. This can happen more often. Yeah. Actually, this can happen kind of like this, I think. Nice. So there we go. A much more ambient, cinematic, soundy effect approach to this rack. So, I hope you got something from today. So if you want to download this rack that I've made, it's available for €5 as a one-time purchase on Patreon, or the full €8 Patreon members get it for free alongside all of their other monthly benefits. Hope you got something from today. This was super fun to make. I'll see you all next time.